Hello, and how are you doing? I'm making adjustments. Where am I? Oh, you know what? I want to turn this off. I think that's this one. There we go. Um, this is page 16. We were on page 17, of course. I gotta do something in the background of this page, of this panel right here. Let me show you what it looks like without the pencil layer. It's fine. We definitely need something back there. Maybe cliff wall, something like that. Cave wall. But because we are where we are, let's make sure I'm on an ink layer. No, not the bubbles layer. Get on an ink layer and use a good pen. We're going to continue where we left off. We're going to keep on keeping on. I got home from work. I had to go to the post office, send something out to my son who's in Texas right now. I'm in Maryland. Oh. I just got home from work. I'm doing this sort of shaky line, but it's meant to be fur. Okay. I get a lot of spammy fake emails lately. Whoops. We can only do that much because his nose will be here. I've given some thought. Oh, and I found something out. I'm gearing up for this new publication idea that I had. And the title I wanted to use has actually already been used. And what's more, it's been used in the context of comics, which means that I probably shouldn't use it. I may even be not allowed to use it. I have no idea. So we'll come up with something else. So I brainstormed several new ideas, and I like all of them. I still want to keep with the theme of, like, in the same way that 9-volt was themed after electricity and batteries. It actually came from Wiz Comics. We wanted just something sounding electrical. And by the way, this is all comics. All the Golden Age anthologies. They were like Smash comics, Hit comics, Zap comics. That's the underground one. And so I wanted something instead. It would be in the vein of being like a video game. So I wanted something arcade sounding. The word arcade itself is a good word. Of course, it's already been used, so you want to put it with something else. And I came up with. Oh, here's another name I can't use. I think it was going to be like Martian Arcade or Mars Arcade. That's actually like a. It's like an adware service. There's actually an adware service called after that. So that would be. Not only would I not want to use it, it almost sounds like, I think it is something negative. Martian Arcade. I think they serve up ads to people, so we're not using that name. But I have it in my mail somewhere. I mail it to myself. A list of names that I thought were good. One was Silver Ball. Silver Ball sounds hot, right? Like on a. Ever since he was a young boy, he played the silver ball. From Soho down to something, he must have played them all. Something like that. Since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. I can't remember the rest of the lyrics. I must have played them all. Also brings to mind a Pinball Wizard. But I had a couple other ideas. Oh shit. Is this thing even... Yeah, we're recording, aren't we? I think we are. I think we are recording. Anyway. So I came up with a list of possible names. I also went on to KDP, and actually it is a pretty good deal. It's better than the Lulu deal for what I want to do. My only question is, what do you get? With Lulu, like, they make a distinction between black and white and premium black and white, which is the a heavier ink coverage for physical copies, physical comics. So, I wonder if I can get into the dark there. So I guess I'm going to set it up. I'm going to try it out. So we're going to do KDP. It's going to be a quarterly sort of journal. I might use the word quarterly in there. Not sure how it's going to pan out. Blaze knocked to the ground. I don't know if I put dialogue on this last panel. I started here. Disruptors. Yarg. Something like my eyes. I don't know. Something. So the disruptor also causes Blaze's sword to short out. I can't remember what I did with Blaze's sword from the previous page. Now he's got it in his hand. He had dropped it. He's got it in his hand, but it's in this hand. So we could probably put, let's see if this is his hand over here. There's the edge of his flaming sword. Now this line I'm not as sure about, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on the other layer. But we want to put, this is our horizon line, at a curve. Maybe just right there. I'm just going to leave it right there for right now. We might end up moving it. Well, we want to reinforce the idea that things are getting really wild and off kilter. So it's like the camera has moved a little bit. All right, so that's good. All this is working out. Let's get back to our other main layer. So let me find that list of names, because I thought it was a pretty good list of names. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to go for all of these or any of these. But I'm certainly inspired by them. Bring up my notes here. Ever since I was a young boy. But Silver Ball, that sounds good to me. One Up Legend. One Up Legend Quarterly. So the idea, and here's why I'm going with the arcade thing, because the arcade, it doesn't matter if you're doing fantasy, science fiction, adventure, no matter what. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Let's get rid of that line right there. Let's do this one. One of my other problems is fudge. All right. One of my other problems is I also want to like increase my drawing. So here's my whole full list of names. 1UP Legend, Pixel Grimoire. I like that one because it mixes fantasy and science fiction elements. Pixel Wizard Quarterly, PWQ. Venus Arcade, instead of Martian Arcade, Venus Arcade, or Venusian Arcade, one of those two. Sounds good. Silver Ball, and then Warp Zone Quarterly, which implies sort of interdimensionality. That was super important when I was focusing my efforts on this development of this world called Figment, which I have not really messed with in a long time. Although, in practice, all of my neophyte comics, when I just started out, were all set in this one single world called Figment that was connected by portals. It's kind of the central conceit of Rabbit Fighter, and then it just kind of grew into its own thing with the other characters as well. Okay, and then also the Titan War, which is where these characters from mythology were really important to what was going on. And I still want to mess with that. I still want to mess with mythology. One thing I've really been enjoying with the Beast Rangers is these animal characters. And I've been looking at Stransky, and the Etherington brothers, and the way that Lorenzo Etherington especially, effortlessly mixes the animal characters and the Stransky girls and the vehicles and equipment and all the other stuff that he does into this really cool world. And of course, it's all an illusion. There's no Stransky. There's no Stransky story. He did the world building, but not the story, and I think that's kind of neat. Unlike a lot of people, he didn't do it out of a lack of ability. He just did it because he wanted the art to imply the world and the story, and then you can appreciate it without actually even knowing what it is. I think it's very clever. Other things that have been influencing me. Everything influences me. I've got 3 of these. This is parts 2 and 3. I've got issue 1 over there. Let me get issue 1. These are called Warriors of the Shadow Realm. This was put out by Marvel. But what it is, you've probably seen the Weird World. They did a couple of floppies of Weird World. And I'll just show you some of the... First of all, it's John Buscema doing fantasy, which is perfect. Second of all, beautifully colored with maps, big pages, tons of detail. Look at this. This is a double page spread. Can't even see the whole thing. There's this other character who has a clue, some kind of clue. This was what was turned into the cover of, I think, one of the Weird World ones. Oh, I think it's called Weird World. It's the one that came out around the same time as Marvel did their version of ElfQuest, like where they had done ElfQuest. And you see this kind of serpent creature, but instead of this elf, it's the other two. These two right here. And it's really beautifully done, but there's this one scene of these sort of Nazgul-looking creatures. Hang on, let me show you. Another double page spread. Just beautifully done. There's a different take on it. There's another double page spread. There's the serpent again. There's this city that they find. The knowledge of elves. I mean, this is the Ren Fair era. This is the one I really like, and it's these. Check out the horses on this. So great. This is John Buscema. I don't know who the painters were. I could look it up. It's right there. I can't read the signatures though. Buscema's signature is really obvious right there. But look at the horse. It's so great. And they're kind of like Nazguls. I mean, it's totally, they're called Nightfangers. 5 riders pound towards the city gates, their cloaks billowing up as dark as the wings of the dreaded Nightfangers. They are the Nightfangers, I think. And then the rest of it's just freaking sketchbook stuff. And world building. Look, this is like a D&D module, practically. And this John Buscema scrapbook. What year was it? It was 1970 something. It was 1979. And I called this the Ren Fair era. Before it was really commercialized. And there's 3 of these things. Amazing. All right, anyways. By the way, those are not expensive to get at like my comic shop. I can't remember how much I paid. They're not in great shape. I think they're like one's like a 4.5. I don't care about the so-called grade of things I get, as long as if it's readable and I liked it to have a cover, because I like the covers too. But not expensive at all. All right, we're gonna drag and drop. Oh yes, it worked. Anyway. Shout out to Peter DeLuca. I was looking at him drawing his Bayformers sketchbook, and he was just doing this what could have been the most boring scene ever of meteors or these things, fireballs heading towards a planet, and it was the shape language in it is incredible, like the angles. I gotta learn some of that trick, man. I have a confident line, I feel like when I draw, I don't draw like this, like some people. I have a confident line, but I don't have that shape language down yet. One thing I would really like to pick up and develop. But like every line on there was like an action line, it was of these meteors that are headed towards a planet. And he was coloring it too. And the coloring was brilliant. Like I'm a sucky ass colorist. I am not a good colorist. Shout out to Jacob Moore, who is a good colorist. Or Shell DeBaggio is a great colorist. But not me. All right. We got a partial on I don't like the... There we go. Oh, I think it's a square buckle on his belt. All the belt buckles are done differently. But I started outlining another fantasy story. Well, I don't like that one either. Today, when I was at work, maybe set in the same world as the Beast Rangers, or maybe using a different set of animal characters or something. I'm never going to have that Lorenzo Etherington groove, man. But it's so cool. So cool. What I'm trying to do here is... Because he's being electrically electrocuted. I'm trying to make his cape also reflect the jagged electrical... Whoa, shit. Jaggedness. All right, buddy. How about that? You got to figure out where the whites are, where the lights are, where the whites and the lights. All right. Let's see what it looks like without the pencils. I wonder if I'm going too angular here. I've still got his arm is going to be in there too. All right. That isn't where I wanted to go. Anyway, comics is a joy. And it's all a learning experience. There's going to be hit and miss days. This page might be a miss. Who knows? I hope it's not. But, it's inevitable that you're going to have misses. And you just don't sweat it. You just keep on rolling. Man, you roll on to the next story. Because, like it or not, even if you roll a natural one, You level up every time you complete something. That also means you must complete things. Oh, I see the postal person has shown up. So the quarterly is going to be, as I said, awesome. But it's going to be shorter. I think that's the secret is to... My problem is not that I have a problem putting things out. The problem is I put out a lot of stuff. I make a lot of pages. And the other thing is you really can't sell an anthology because you're selling everybody's work. You know, it's one of those things. So when you have an anthology which involves the varying levels of talent in people, you know, it becomes very difficult to price because you've got to pay. You either pay everyone the same, or you're paying the better people more, or maybe what about the people that are submitting 40 pages versus the person that submits one page, and you pay the same amount for everybody, or what about the guy who does that guy get paid a different amount, and is there going to be arguments? It's so complicated, and it's always done at such an amateur level that we're really talking about friends and family buying them. Except for some people are actually good. That's the thing. And for the people that are actually good, they could just do it on their own. So, and it takes a while to get good. You have to kind of develop your chops in the world of anthologies, which I feel like I've kind of done at this point. I've put out 10. I just signed a release form 2 nights ago for another one. I'm going to be in another anthology. And that's cool. That's cool. But it's not my representative. I mean, this is neophyte work. It's not the work that I'll be remembered for in any way. I want to do this. It's got to have shadows all the way down here. All right. And it would be easy enough to do. The 9-volt was really done for fun, just as an expression of, it started out as, hey, we're all stuck at home because of the lockdown. Wouldn't it be cool if? And that's where the idea grew from. Here we go. Look at that. All right. We've got a beginning. We're going to have several characters in this panel and a lot of things going on, and also going to have to do some background. I'm going to have to do some background on this panel. I might have to go back and do that. How would I do it? I think I'd pull the layer off and just start. This would be a good spot for some focus lines. Let's do that real quick. We're going to throw on some focus lines, people. Okay, perfect. All right, focus line mania. This better be better be the right brush. I'm wondering if I just do those or should I go around the world? I can totally go around the world. Whoops. All right. Well, that solves one of my problems. Sort of. Also, I don't even think it would be that much of a killer to do color. If I did it this way. If I did it, because it'd be less page count. The page count is the issue. You know, once you start printing up in the hundreds of pages, then you start to get a problem. But if I kept it low, I could handle all the pages myself. My problem is color takes too long for me. I'm too slow for color. Unless I hired somebody to do it. Which is not an impossibility. All right. Oh, I see one of my problems. I got to shade in these feathers too. All right, looks like my work is cut out for me. I've got plenty of things I need to do on this page. Before I even get to this one, I've got to finish this one up. All right. Please like, follow, and subscribe. There will be much more comics. It's what we do here. It's what we live for. It's what we love. I will see you later.